What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. Today we're going to talk about the Fox's knee pads and the improvised knees to see which is best, and that was because I got this comment here. I noticed you're using Fox's and I'm wondering if you have tested them versus improvised. I have tested improvised versus Fox's on 3 builds and found that on all 3 builds the improvised averages roughly 1% more damage. I did the final testing in the game with both builds at 60% critical hit chance with the Carbine 7 and Ranger, target set at 5 meters, unbreakable chest and memento with no stacks. This way I would have no scaling talents to confuse the numbers. At 60% critical hit chance, each magazine will average 30 crits and 20 non-crits. 185 critical hit damage versus 161 critical hit damage versus 8% damage to target out of cover. I shot the body, wrote down the crit and the non-crit numbers, and then the crit times 30, non-crit, and the times 20 improvised won by 1% each time. I'm curious if you have done the testing on this yourself, and that is an absolute valid test. But once you start throwing in the chest talents and the backpack talents and stats you're going to get from teammates, then all things start to change. But before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that bell so you are notified when I upload more Division videos. Coming over to Twitch, hit that follow button. I could be streaming live right now. Or if you need a community Discord, I have a link in the description. If you need some help with Division or any other games, come and say hi in there. Okay, so let's get cracking. I actually did this video yesterday and I'm having to redo it. When I uploaded that video, I actually made a mistake with the numbers that I was showing on screen. Even though I was saying the right numbers, I actually showed the same stats twice. So this is the second version of this video, but there were some good points made in the comments. People mentioned, well, actually, you're using the M1A, which obviously benefits from the rifle damage. Other people started talking about, actually, why are you doing this comparison? You get rid of the contractor's gloves and use the improvised gloves instead. And I'm going to save that for another video. We'll do improvised gloves in the next video. But for this video, as you can see, when we switch to the M1A, I'm going to show you exactly the stats that I've got plumbed in to the spreadsheet. And this is the stats that we've got here now. So they're going to have 59% crit chance, 190% critical hit damage, 110 headshot damage, 8% enemy armor damage, no health damage, but obviously hidden away we've got the 8% damage to target out of cover on the Fox's Pro, and that's what this video really is all about. So you can see this build here. I'm going to use contractor's gloves throughout so that the numbers match up, because we get extra crit hit chance with the improvised, which makes it really hard to deal with, because if you look across my gear, I've already got chance and everything all baked in. So without making too many changes, this is the fairest test we can do. And actually it is 100% accurate. So I'll throw the numbers up for this one now. This is the M1A with Foxes. So you can see the total DPS for the health damage and the armor damage. 11,039 on the health. 11,922 on the armor. You know, top tier, absolutely top tier. We all know that the M1As hit the hardest in this game. Absolutely top tier, all red build. So then what we're going to do now, we're going to switch things round a little bit, and we're going to bring in the improvised knee pads. Now, obviously these are not min-maxed, but I'm going to put the numbers into the spreadsheet as if they are min-maxed, just to make this a fair fight. Otherwise it would not be. So you'll see the crit chance in the stat page being slightly off by 1.5%, but we do add that. So at the moment you can see this looks great, but we are over cap now, because if you look here you can see that the critical hit chance is extra that we didn't have with the other knee pads, but we can quite easily fix that. We can flip over to our gun, we can take this critical hit chance off here, and we can put that to critical hit damage. And what you'll see now is we are the 1.5% off. But we're putting in the spreadsheet, we are at 60%. Just to make it for critical hit damage, we've put at 207 because our mod is 0.1% off. But we did exactly the same on both tests. So just imagine these are maxed. It's a long story short. So that's all our stats, but obviously now we don't have our out of target anymore. We've lost that. We've no out of target, and we've also lost the rifle damage as well. So I'll throw these stats up now, and you can see that it comes in at 10.3, which is less than the M1A with Foxes. So I'll throw them both up together so you can see both of the numbers here. Still very, very respectable. But once all the multiplicative damage from glass cannon, from teammates and things like that play in, so even though the improvised KNEEPADS might have beaten out the Foxes with no additional damage, once you actually play it into a full build, then the Foxes win out. And what's very important to say here is with the Foxes KNEEPADS, because it's multiplicative damage, any team buffs that you get end up being worth more. Because it's multiplicative damage, it's not additive damage. So the numbers from the Foxes will always get bigger and bigger and bigger the more multipliers are added into your damage equation. Because multiplicative damage is just worth more. Okay, so that's all very good. But what if I was not using a rifle? And I didn't do this comparison in the last video. So it's I'm kind of glad that I made a mistake, because actually it's a very valid question. What if we switch this to an assault rifle? Because Foxes has baked in rifle damage. Are they still best in slots? Well, let's do that. So what we'll do, we'll put on my carbine 7 with strained. So all the numbers you're going to see are with a maxed out strained. If we look at it, oh, we're over on crit chance again. So we can just nip in here and we can give ourselves some more critical hit damage. And there you go, we're spot on again now, because we know we're 1.5% short here. So the stats that you're going to see on screen will imagine that it is optimized, and it is 60%. So as you can see here now, we've got a whole more sleuth of stats. We've got some health damage as well now. So we'll play that into the equation as well. And I'll throw them stats up now. So there you go. So you can see these here. So this is with the improvised. This is carbine 7 with the improvised and strained. So 10.3 on the health damage and 9.2 on the armor damage. Looks really, really nice. So if we were going to change this around, it's really, really easy. We're just going to swap out the improvised KNEEPADS, and we're going to put in the Fox Pros. So we lose some crit chance, but we gain the yellow damage to target out of cover. So if we flip over to the stats, we are now short on crit chance. So we'll go back in. We'll hit this mod back up, and we'll put that back to 60%. And there you can see we're at 59%, which is fine. We'll do the stat. We'll put in 59%, comparing it to the 60. We've got the contractor's gloves on still, and this time we are running Fox's Pros. And we'll throw that stat up now. And you can see here this is 10.7. Let's throw them up together. So 10.7 versus 10.3. So the Foxes still win out. So even when we are not using, a rifle, because it's the overlords, we get the 10% rifle damage, the Foxes still win out, because that damage to target out of cover is so valuable. And again, when you're in a team, once you're getting all the team buffs from your other teammates' specializations and things like that, perhaps they're running the grenade launcher, and that gives you out of cover damage as a team, it's just worth even more. So these are best in slots generally if it's an all red build, for any kind of weapon archetype. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will do another video, because a lot of people jumped on. The question was, are Foxes versus improvised, which is the best? That was the question I got asked. I didn't get asked about what is best in slot. But what I will do then is another video, and we'll compare the contractor's gloves versus using the Providence gloves versus using improvised gloves. And that'll be a very interesting video. That'll come up probably later today, because what you'll notice is in my builds, if I flick just out of here, I actually use the Providence gloves when I'm playing solo. I only switch to contractors when I'm in a team, But we'll do all the maths. We'll see which is which. Maybe I shouldn't be using the Providence. Maybe I should be using Improvised. But we will see. I hope that answers all the questions, and hopefully now you've got the right stats. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.